Okay, here we go. This is patch 7.3, and I'm going to do as much of the MSQ as I can before I start work today. So let's go. You heading to the back room? Okay, let's see. Equipment here didn't start trying to kill me, but it did start acting up while I was in the middle of my work. One of my finest pieces ruined just like that, as if power outage wasn't bad enough. Gosan is helping us coordinate efforts with the administration here in Alexandria. We have to work hand in hand to ensure that the people can get back to their normal lives. I worry about Galuja, though. I know he's still frustrated he couldn't do anything to stop the machines. Only there was a way to take his mind off things. I will dedicate myself to healing magics so I may help treat people's wounds. It will be a time-consuming process to reacquire my skills, but a necessary one that I dare not rush, even though there's no telling when Calyx will make his next move. We've set up patrols outside, so I came back here to see how things are. Unfortunately, although we stopped the rampaging hover cargoes, now we have to deal with delays in electrode transport and slowdowns in production. The complications will likely continue for some time. Raha and Alphino patrol the city, while Yestola and Alice continue treating Levin sickness and those injured in the attack. I shall stay here to help coordinate efforts, so I suggest taking the opportunity to get some rest. I couldn't fight them, and I couldn't even get my authority back when it was stolen. So what good am I? I need to find a way to be more useful. Targeted tragedy. If you have a moment, Lucera, Geode wants to take stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking the finer details in certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the conversation. Sorry to drag you into our meeting, but we need to get a better handle on the threats Alexandria is facing right now. Not at all. Much has happened since the state funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial for us as well. First things first then, let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to controls. And while these malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and deaths. But you haven't heard anything about new incidents since then, right? Right. No additional reports have been logged, as far as I know. That's the good news. The bad news is, I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, but they wouldn't listen to me, even though I have the king's authority. Once things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their weapons. But if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. The king of Rizal's authority is about the highest there is. Who is this man that can override it with such impunity? Calix. He lived in the age of the storm surge, as I did. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancements in electrope technology, and it was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease which afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He must have chosen to undergo conversion into an endless, that he might continue his efforts into the present day. Preservation's early goals seemed noble enough: exploring treatments for leaven sickness, designing Everkeep's core system, that sort of thing. Why harm the people he was ostensibly trying to help? I do not pretend to fully understand Calix's motivations, only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. He asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through generational succession was outdated, that evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. We've already seen how he's employed the stimulant to convince Alexandrians that endless conversion is their only hope for survival. Eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who registered as neo-regulators. But this is merely one part of Calix's greater plan. He wants the key to interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw ether from the reflections and expand his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. If we mean to foil Calix's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down, which unfortunately is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminal we found in the depths of Everkeep, but I failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Give me a little more time though, and I'm sure I can sniff him out. I'll help you. While Gazulja and Shale are working on that, I think I'm going to take a look around town. I want to make sure no new problems have cropped up, as well as search for any information that might lead us to Calix. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have some brawlers at my back. Sure thing, boss. Count me in. Raha and the others are helping Oblivion patrol the other levels of the keep. So shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? Sounds like a plan. Thanks, you two. I appreciate the company. I have to speak with the city's administrators about bringing in the Landsguard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving to Tuilau. Alphino and Alice will be joining me for the meeting, so the three of us can cover that sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join Losira's group, if you'll have me. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thank you. I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm more worried about you, Geo. Don't do anything stupid. You'll change your tune once we get back with the goods on Calix. Then the drinks are on you. Come on, let's continue this outside. Good luck with your patrol, and take your time. We can do without Geode until you're done and with the old side. Ah, sorry, just when I think I've internalized better manners, talking with Geode brings back all the old bad habits. I wish I could grow up faster. There'll be so much more I can do when I'm bigger like you. Okay. The city looks as though it's regained a sense of normalcy. Alas, the people will not soon forget recent events. I will do my utmost to ensure the happiness of Alexandria and its people. Sorry, I was off on my own little world. Shall we get started? Are you alright, Geo? Me? I'm well enough given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from the horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. Then, the moment mortality once again becomes an unavoidable fact of life, they're greeted with an outbreak of bloody violence. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that. It is only natural that such thoughts should come to mind. What I cannot forgive is the way Calyx wields fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. No one, not Calyx, nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the specter of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put the choices for this country's future back into the hands of its citizens. And you think you can handle that responsibility after everything you've seen of us? It is what I've seen that has convinced me you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it so. You all deserve to be happy. Well then, we'd best not let you down. Now, I suggest we move as a group. We don't know if or when a battle might find us. Oh, I believe someone came prepared for just such an eventuality. Is that the grimoire you retrieved from the old castle? Yes, my parents gifted it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, so I lay claim to some small measure of skill. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. It would certainly be more efficient for information gathering. I guess that makes sense. The 2 of you take the west side of the recreation zone then. Locira and I will take the east. Very well. We shall end our patrol in the plaza just past True View and await you there. Okay. Before we do that, let's talk to this person. I finally got my hands on a Neo regulator, and then this close to crashing into a hover cargo. The day I become endless can't come soon enough. I only hope I live that long. Let's do the rounds then. We'll see what's what and chat to people we meet along the way. Pay special attention to anyone who looks overwhelmed or overly excited. Hopefully, that will earn us a tidbit or two we didn't know before. Okay, we got an escort mission coming up here. Okie dokie. Alright. That was a new dialogue box there they had for that. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go this way. Are the sentries and the air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again. And maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a Neo regulator. Becoming endless is the only way. Even Queen Speen said so. Ah, the memories. I used to drink around here all the time. I made sure not to overdo it when I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies weren't amenable to my company, well, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning or afternoon. The worst I ever got was on what should have been the worst day of my life. If only I could remember it. I was still wearing a regulator back then. It was also the day I first met Shale, although I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. Okay. You want to hear my story? Well, I appreciate you offering a sympathetic ear. Not much to tell. You must know a good friend of mine died when those machines went crazy. His air wheeler dropped right out of the sky, and he didn't survive the crash. Damn fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know that's not so strange these days, but he never bothered with one. He was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant until it happened. What has me in such a fine mood, you ask? Well, I just registered my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through with the registration, I've never felt more at ease. Also, once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers. Of the 5,000 slots available, over 3,800 have already been filled. So if you're still hesitant, you've not much time to make your mind up. Mark my words, friend. When there's only a few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. So Sarah, a word. I feel like there was a new factor in these stories we've heard, one we hadn't considered during our discussion with everyone in the back room. Hmm. That fights are likely to break out over neo regulators? The fact that nearly 4,000 people have registered is worthy of its own report. But are you sure there wasn't anything else? That a victim of the violence still wasn't wearing a regulator? Yes, that's it. The vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not a detail we'd normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties from the recent attacks and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's ask around on the street over to the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we'll find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm if this was a pattern or not. Okay. Let's see. Okay, got it. Okay, let's go. It was once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The little ones who jumped for joy when I brought them packages, the old lady who always greet me with a smile. I'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. Hello, how are you today? Please let me know if I may be of service. Citywide casualty data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. Can you narrow it down to the recreation zone then? You must have some estimates on hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured, 87 individuals. Casualties, 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with regulators, 0. Okay. You wish to know if the people who died in the machine rampage were wearing regulators? I'm sorry, but I was assigned to clearing away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. No bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assumed the ushers had already done their work. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered about that were quite a chore to clean up. Nothing else worthy of mention. So Sarah, I think it's time we rejoin Kryle and Speen. I was half joking with my boast to Shale, but we may have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiry. Didn't Kryle say to meet them in the plaza just outside of True View? Let's get going. We finished our patrol as well. Did it not seem that more people wanted neo regulators than before? So, essentially, you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators. Well, the numbers are still tentative and only applied to that one zone. We don't know how they'll stack up against the overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed their regulator was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Based solely on the lack of a neo regulator, we cannot judge if a person has no desire to become endless, or if they simply fail to acquire one of the limited devices. But those who wear no regulator at all, they have clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen to live their lives in the knowledge that death is an inevitability. The chances that such resolute people should wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. And so Calix has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. But there was no need to kill anyone. With the way things were, the people were already fearful enough. He could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. You make a good point. Perhaps this sowing of terror is in service to another scheme, or he had some other need for the lives he's taken. What of the dust we found at various sites? Right, the sanitation worker's story. She saw no bodies, but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, but no bodies? Now, where have I heard that before? Do you recall when we went to save Aaronville from the sentries in the outskirts? The usher Malachite told us much the same thing. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of dust, which the wind quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of this dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if this substance was present at other sites and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation for the missing bodies, but also the intent behind Calix's murderous actions. Oh, Sarah, we need your help. I've lost control over the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but you are close enough to join them. Damn it! Our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go.
Stay away from me!
Leave him alone!
Are you all right?
What happened here?
A sentry walked into my apartment, even though I'd locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
Do you know anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Go to them, quickly! Wyaquay!
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape. Mother! Mother, please!
Isadora! Oh, thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
Thank you, miss. Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
Continue. She shall recover in due course. I'm glad we arrived when we did. When I was sick and couldn't move, my mother was always at my side, always keeping me company, and I'm going to do the same for her. Forgive me, I was reckless. I should have had to waste shouldn't have them. You shouldn't have had to waste time tending my wounds as well. Did you see our other comrade back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard the sounds of fighting. I'm sorry, he must have fallen protecting the residents. The endless choice. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he is wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please, it isn't safe and you still need rest. Would you stay with Milos and watch over Isadora for me? We will tend to your friend. Thank you. Please be careful yourself. That man, this is awful. Why? Why is this happening? Isadora is going to be alright then? I'm so glad. I've just finished my administrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That sentry was behaving normally, like any other. Then all of a sudden, it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Calyx commanded them to commit murder. Is it over? We came as soon as Wyack sent word. I am sorry. By the time we arrived, it was already too late. And Geo could be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? Possibly. We're not sure what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector though, at least until we regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geo. I agree. Since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, then they could become prime targets for the next attack. Please do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. We've made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Wyack has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geo. Good luck, and stay safe. Geode said he would sweep the surrounding area, so we shouldn't have ventured too far. Let's get going. Pray thank you for Milia friend for me. I would still be a helpless mess if not for her encouragement. I hope you find Geode soon. I know he's probably saving people with one hand and fighting off threats with the other, but I can't help but worry. Leave matters here to us. We'll see to our fallen comrade and make sure no one else comes to harm. Okay, let's go. Please, Geo, please be safe. You see no sign of Geo. Perhaps you should search further to the east. Let's search around the apartments first. You see no sign of Geode. Wyack's voice crackles forth from the communicator. Geode! Geode, answer me! There's no response. Perhaps you should continue your search further to the east. You see no sign of Geo. The neighboring residential radius would be the next logical place to look.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please!
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive! Thank the gods! Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join it. Dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells. Shit. Damn you! You can't be here! You need to run, now! A trap! Take care of the others, eh?
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe? Geode!
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
How would I?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now? I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promised to halt my harvest?
I will halt your harvest by defeating you.
It was foolish of me to even ask. I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
I can't. There are no words. This pile of dust, these ashes, and the soul cell he left behind. Was that his twisted way of returning Geo to us? Damn you, Calyx. Damn you and your careless cruelty. He was our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 endless could continue their immortal lives. And if a reflection's stolen ether allowed for many more endless, why that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? Not I. Certainly not I. We know only too well there is naught noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop him. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. And under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession, Losira. It falls to us. We will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocents in the reflections elsewhere. I will hold on to Jield's gun. If you could take the soul cell, please. My memories and yours. We should return to the back room. Shale and the others need to know what happened. Yes, I'll ask Wayak to meet us there as well.
our dear Geode. The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gololja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy, living our lives? What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him. Wait, where are you going? To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure Nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Thank you.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. I've spoken with Wiklamat. They've cut their meeting short to deal with the aftermath of this latest violence. I assume you know better by now, but I hope you're not planning to try anything alone. We are all here for you. I am told that the members tasked with keeping residents safe returned with the body of their comrade. They all risked so much. We made a swift patrol of the other levels and confirmed that Calyx had carried out a number of targeted attacks, all to harvest more ether, it seems. I got back control of the sentries, probably around the same time Calyx left. I'm sorry I couldn't stop him. They brought back Geode's gun. Its rounds were spent and its barrel was scorched, so you can be sure he went down fighting. Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode he was an older brother to Nostalgia and me. Shale knew him longer though, and is surely taking it the hardest. And that's on top of what happened with Kakuya. Do you think you could check on her? See how she's doing? She's like to put on a brave face, if it's me or my sister. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on with the hunt for Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. Is there anything I can do? You can't help yourself, can you? Still, I appreciate the concern. Kakio used to say the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. So I think I'll take myself over to the earth and sky and say my goodbyes to Geo. Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you've a shoulder to spare. Right then, let's get out of Everkeep for a bit. We've decided to keep the soldiers here, armed to drive away any wild beasts that might wander too close to Everkeep. But seeing as how people live in the area as well, we're taking turns patrolling it. We all have the code for emergency shutdown, so we can handle any surprises. Visitor detected, verifying access rights. You have been granted unlimited access to Everkeep. Please proceed. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air-wheelers. They've had their communications modules removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to seize control of them. Say the word and we're set off. Ready? We'll be flying close to the pylon, so follow my lead. These air-wheelers are Gnolt's babies. You won't find a smoother ride. For years now, I've been taking one of them out for a turn whenever I needed to lighten myself. Lighten my mood. Sometimes Geode would come along too, and we'd end up racing. Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. We would often talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside of the dome. Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. Phew, that's helped clear my head a touch. You know, Lucera, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least. The memories from my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully the way will be clear of pests today. Just our luck. Thanks. We can usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the only path. Not that it slowed you down at all. I've never seen you fight up close before, and the surveillance feed clearly didn't do it justice. Ahem. Hopefully that keeps the route clear for a while, shall we?
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
Geode's memory.
Oh. What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization. You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it. You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I'd recently lost someone close to me. And also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First-time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street. Pair of drunken fools. Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine, that was Kafkiwa, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come to pass.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kafkiwa was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
Is that so? I just assumed.
It hadn't been Kafkiwa's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy, nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially, at least. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned. Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Thus were my parents' and Kafkiwa's hopes bound together.
And carried onward by Shale and Geode.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided. Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I could see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this, and why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
I appreciate you helping me through this. And not only the grief, you've helped me to see my comrades mean even more to me than I realized, which only fuels my determination. I'll be spending every waking moment working to bring Calyx to account for his crimes. I'll do my part, and you do yours. Oblivion needs you. Darkness in the heart. It's time I went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the possibilities. I'll ask Crow for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from preservation and establish an organized resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans, Lucira? Lucira, is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts, and I cannot help but feel as though something is amiss. Might I ask you to join me? Your perspective would be most appreciated. It can wait until you've finished attending to Shale, of course. It seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on. I've others to speak with before I return to the back room. Well, it seems I've run out of time. I need to go and get ready for work. So, I'm going to pick this up a little bit later. If you've come along, then thank you for joining me on this foray into the MSQ of patch 7.3. So until next time, bye-bye.